We're good.
All right, hey everyone. We're here live on YouTube at the unveiling of the Hurricane.
Oh my gosh. Good morning once again, everybody, and welcome to MCACN 2024. I'm Scott Hoke, the host of MCACN. My good friend Chris Jacobs here, also with us in Motor Trend.
What's up, everybody?
And Courtney Hansen is here. Hi, Courtney. Good morning.
So good to be back.
I tell you what, this may be the most anticipated car in this entire building this weekend because of the story. Now, wing cars are a big deal already, Chris, but this one, the story behind it, the Hurricane Superbird, all you need to know.
This is the Hurricane Superbird.
This is the Hurricane Superbird.
We saw this in Fort Myers Beach because I have a home in Naples, Florida. So we were all impacted by the hurricane in Southwest Florida, and we actually saw those cars upside down in the sand. That's crazy. And then I saw them here 2 years ago.
Exactly. How many people saw this car here 2 years ago? Yeah, raise your hand. And we knew that it was going to be restored at that point, and today's the day for the unveil.
Well, you know, Scott, just when you thought that the Black Ghost was the most famous Mopar out there, I think that this car has stolen everybody's hearts since Hurricane Ian hit in 2022. It was displayed 2 years ago, as you said, in the damaged fashion. Last year, who was here to see it in bare metal last year? Good. Well, now, Magnum Auto Restorations, LaSalle, Illinois. Shout out for the local boys. Mark and his crew at Magnum right there worked tirelessly to bring this car back to life, and it's here so that you guys can see it in its fully restored form. And Mark and the guys were telling me that while this car was being taken apart, they found a lot of things that weren't done correctly, so they fixed all of those mistakes, and this car is restored to perfection, 10 out of 10.
I want to talk with Mark Sekula here from Magnum Restorations in LaSalle, as you said, Chris. This is a complete nut and bolt restoration, but maybe the most meticulous nut and bolt restoration that's ever been done, because literally every nut and every bolt had to be gone through and inspected and looked at, right?
That's completely correct, because a lot of people say that, but in this instance, saltwater does things to every nut and bolt. You have to touch every nut and bolt. You know, maybe a steering column, you wouldn't have to do every little thing, but now we had to. Every wire is compromised. Every gauge, every electronic device is messed up. You can see the original gauges and radio here that have continued to rust, and that's what this car would look like if Tony hadn't taken it on and, you know, saved the thing and allowed us to. It would look like that now.
How daunting was it when you first got the car and Tony said, hey, I want you to restore this?
Well, we both knew, you know, it had to get on it right away because salt doesn't stop, you know. So daunting, yes, but exciting more than anything, because how often do you get to be a chance at something like this?
All right, we're going to talk to the owner here in a minute, because there's another cool story about that. You want to go ahead and unveil it, Chris?
Should we unveil it, and then we'll talk to Tony, the owner? All right, without further ado,
here we go.
It has come back to life to be presented to you here at MCACN 2024. I give you the Hurricane Bird.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. What an amazing job. Mark, congratulations right off the bat. I mean, that is phenomenal work.
Thank you very much. We got a great crew. I got you know, a lot of guys that stepped up in a big way. You know, some of them that said, "Man, we can do it. Give us a chance. We can do it."
This is not something that you let the interns handle, right? I'm kidding, but
you'd be surprised. I have some guys that you know, stepped up. Like I said, they were always involved. And they always did great stuff. But you know, guys that said, you know, like I said, give us a chance. We can make it happen.
I want to give a quick shout out to Ryan Brett right here, the auto archaeologist who documented the entire process from saving the car through the restoration to now the presentation. Great job, Ryan. If you're not following him on social media, you should be. The auto archaeologist. Absolutely.
And your last video was, I think, in October, right? And so you guys had still some work to do just last month.
Well, like any car that you bring here to MCACN, you're finishing it the day before. You know, that's pretty much how they all go. All these cars are like that.
You want to talk to Tony?
Yeah, let's do that. So here's the owner, Tony. Step on over here, man. First of all, congratulations.
Tony Scamali.
Congratulations. He is a resident of Tampa, and you actually had plans to acquire the car before Hurricane Ian hit. Is that right?
That's correct. About 30 days prior to the hurricane coming through, me and the original owner, Mike Walton, had talked about the car and didn't come to an agreement. And he knew I lived underwater as well in Tampa Bay, and there was a storm coming our way, so we stayed in touch. And Mike was checking on me because the storm was supposed to hit our house, and I have a 68 Heavy Charger amongst other cars. And all of a sudden, the storm takes a right hook into Fort Myers, and the story kind of flipped at that point. So went down there a couple days after the hurricane, met with him and his wife Julie. Very good people, some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. Mike had a few bruises on him trying to actually save the car as the hurricane was going on. It was in his garage, it's true. It was up on a lift, and as the surge started to come in, he was trying to keep stuff away from hitting the actual lift. And he had black and blues all over his body, and he was just devastated. And at that point, he said, you know, I know you originally, I was actually his wife. She goes, you did it. And I go, I did what? She goes, the Daytona was hers. She goes, we got in the car. And she goes, I wish it was under better circumstances. And I did too. But from there, we formed a relationship, brought the cars to my house, started kind of looking at them for about a day or two, took buckets of sand out of them, had a couple guys helping me. I called Ryan, I said, Ryan, who's the best in the business with birds? I already had an idea in my mind with the Daytona. The Daytona was really what I was most passionate about, but I also fell in love with the bird the day I saw it. And so Ryan said, absolutely, Magnum Restorations, call Mark. And it was days, it was a couple of days. I was like, we gotta get these cars out of here, we gotta get moving. We talked about it immediately. We had it shipped up there within 2 days. So.
The video, I'll throw this in too, the video that Tony has of this car and its stablemate before this car was flipped over, it's unbelievable.
Bobbing around in the
they
storm
are
surge,
bobbing
like
in
the
the
sea or the
storm
waves.
surge. It's like these cars are trying to swim to safety, and it didn't work. And we saw what happened. Everybody's seen the video. They can't swim, as the T-shirt says. Incredible story behind this car, and you know what? It's just mind-boggling that you took it from where it was to where it is now.
Thank you very much. It's a long journey, and Tony stuck with us because we all know this is a big financial undertaking. You know, not a lot of people are equipped to do it or willing to stick to it, and I got to give him a lot of credit. I never heard one complaint. He put full trust. Actually, 8 o'clock this morning is the first time I met Tony. We've never met face to face until today.
Wow. How many hours in the restoration of this? Any idea?
I don't want to know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, I just met Chris Jacobs this morning as well. We've never met. I'm kidding.
First time, 8 a.m. Mark, if you would, introduce some of the guys on your team. Give them some credit too.
All right, so let's start out. Is this my wife, Michelle? You know, she does more than I do, believe me. This is my son, Dylan. He's been with me a long time. He kind of does all the assembly and, you know, everything but body and paint. This is Ricky, same as with him. He's only been with us about a year, but he's really caught on. He's doing his thing. He's great. This is Bill. Bill is actually the guy that did all the body and paint. And he wasn't really our body and paint guy until a couple years ago. He's the guy that came to me and said, we can make it happen. We can do it. Give me a chance. This is Tony. He's also body and paint. He wasn't so the key guy with this one, but he kind of did everything. I've got 2 more guys back at the shop. I got one guy that's 78 years old. He's the guy I've been doing since 68. When we need help, he's there. And another guy that's, you know, a great guy also.
Kudos to those guys. And Tony, I know you got one more thing to say.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you look at birds or you look at any of these vehicles that are like this, if you look at somebody like myself, you kind of ask yourself, like, what is your interest in a car like this? When I wasn't the guy that drove it, it wasn't in my time frame. Well, I grew up around these cars, just like all of you guys, right? My passion and love felt, my dad had one, my uncle sitting over there. We hunted these cars, I grew up in these cars, and it's always been a passion. And I think that's what really Mopars or chasing cars is all about. My wife, it's her birthday today. We got a baby. But so this is kind of, I watch my dad
Happy
every year,
birthday.
like most Mopar guys. He did Christmas presents with cars for my mom every year. He just built up his collection. She was disappointed every Christmas. So today, this is my gift to her. I'm gonna carry on the family tradition. I'm gonna justify her being here on her birthday. But again, to you Mopar lovers, I think that there's a lot of us in the next generation. And a lot of people say, like, these cars have already had their pastime. They're gonna be like the Model Ts. I don't believe that at all. Not at all, especially the wing cars. So let Mopars live on.
Congratulations, Tony, Mark. Thank you all for coming. And how about another big round of applause for this crew and the amazing job they did. Make sure you get a look at this dash panel over here. If you haven't already, these guys will be around to answer your questions, and so will we. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And thank you all for coming.
Thanks everyone for watching. I'll do a better video of the car here later when there's less people around. I hope you enjoyed that live unveiling. Thank you, Seth. Now, I've never stopped a live. Oh, coming over. Oh, sorry.